Hey, everybody, it's Scott Steen with winnersandwhiners.com coming to you, as always, with Today in Sports Betting. It is the Thursday edition. Of course, I'm joined by my partner, Scott Reichel, and we are joined by a very special guest, brand manager for BetOnline. It is the one, the only, Dave Mason. Gentlemen, good morning. How are we today?
Doing pretty well. Can't complain. I'll let Dave go because you know how I'm doing.
All good, man. Busy week, but a lot of fun. A fun week.
Excellent. And I guess the lines pretty much bounce back and forth between 3 and 3.5. Dave, do you expect to see 3.5 again before game time here?
Oh man, that's the $1 million question, right? We opened 3, went to 3.5, and we got some sharp action on the Buccaneers at plus 3.5, and moved back down to 3, which we haven't budged from. I mean, the juice has been bouncing around a little bit. 69% of the cash is on the Chiefs at -3. So, we respect these. We take the sharp action. We respect the sharp action. So we're not one of those public books that are just gonna try to book the game 50-50. We don't play that game. So I mean, it might, but there'll be some juice associated with that plus 3.5 with the Buccaneers if it does. But gun to head, it closes 3. But if it is plus 3.5, you're gonna be paying -120 on that 3.5 or whatever.
Very good. Do you have a rooting interest that's non-sportsbook related? Do you care about either team or something? You're an Eagles fan, right?
Yeah, I'm a big Andy Reid guy, man, and I respect the hell out of Tom Brady, but he also annoys the hell out of me too. So he's been a thorn in our side for years. So no money involved, no decisions, no anything. 100% Chiefs, 100%. But there are decisions involved, so we have some rooting interest here.
I was going to say, it's not too bad as an Eagles fan because you did split Super Bowls against Brady, so it's not the end of the world.
Nah, I hear you, but I mean, how many times can you do a Brady Giselle prop in the Super Bowl and all? I'm just over it, man. Again, he's awesome. He respect the hell out of him, but it's one of those love-hate things. You respect the hell out of him, but you're sick of him.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Now, I know that Scott already asked you about the spread in this one. I know that there have been some rumors over the last 24 hours circulating that the weather report is not supposed to be too favorable, as it's supposed to be a decent amount of thunderstorms, stuff like that. I'm not sure if that'll change closer and closer to game time, but I have seen some money coming in on the under in that. Did your book also get hit with a bunch of under money yesterday?
We did. We still need the under, that we're there's still about 66% of the total action is on the over. So, yeah, we'll see. I mean, that number could drop a little bit. We took some early sharp action on under 57 and under 56.5. So as of now, we'll be rooting for a nice low scoring game.
And David, is that fairly typical? Is the Super Bowl? Is it the Super Bowl of square action? Is it always favorite in overs?
Pretty much. I mean, it sure is at this time, right? It's we're definitely bucking. That being said, I mean, we would like the ideal scenario for us is the Chiefs to win outright but not cover. So nice 1 or 2 point victory with the under, because we have a big exposure on the Buccaneers Super Bowl futures too out there. So, but yeah, it's 80% of the time over favorite, probably about 80% of the time.
Gotcha. Now, did you have a Bucks Super Bowl number listed before the Brady acquisition?
They opened up 66-1, this time last year, and we were just looking the other day. The first bet was $2 at 66-1. So there was somebody out there who thought Winston would be under center or God knows who. But then when the Brady rumors started coming in, 33-1ish, and then when he signed, I think it was 25-1, and it just kept getting bet. And we had the best odds out there for the Buccaneers. Our guy who was dealing that, and he doesn't even work here anymore, but he was all proud of himself. Oh, we had the most generous number. We had the most generous. Well, yeah, great. Great. Now look at that red number. So we've been battling that red number all year. I mean, it's down a bunch from what it was in August, but it's still a healthy red number.
And Chiefs were the favorite, obviously, to repeat. What did you have? What did you have them as far as the number goes?
Man, I think we opened them like 7-1, I believe. I could be off by about. It could have been 650 or 750, but it is right around there. They're wire-to-wire favorites.
Okay, very good. Scott, what do you got?
Well, I was going to ask you about the exposure for the futures, but I think you just covered that. But I'm assuming worst case scenario is just a Tampa outright win.
No. Yeah, because then we'd win the Chiefs spread, and there's going to be more money. That spread decision is going to be a bigger decision than the futures decision.
Okay.
So, we'll word short a little bit there.
So worst case scenario is Chiefs cover, and best case scenario is Chiefs win but don't cover?
The worst case scenario is Chiefs cover and over.
Okay.
Best case scenario, Chiefs win outright. Chiefs win by 1 or 2.
And the under?
Yeah, and the under. And the under, of course, will blow up a bunch of player props, too. That's always correlated because people are usually betting overs on all the player props, and a low-scoring game usually busts up a lot of those. So we'd win the total, and we'd bust up some of those player props. So, yeah, we're rooting for a 21-20, victory by the Chiefs. How about that? Or 14-13, even better.
Yeah, makes sense. But I was actually going to ask you, I know that there was some news yesterday circulating about some potential COVID issues with some barber going on, and how some players from the Chiefs might have been, potentially screwed had they not canceled it. So my question for you is, would you ever get a haircut before the Super Bowl? No.
I didn't understand that. I mean, 40 guys, something like 40 people. What's the big deal?
Well, you can't wait like an extra 5 days before.
Yeah, I mean, you got your helmet on anyway. It's not like you're out there playing basketball and you have to show your hair off to everybody. I mean, you have your damn helmet on, and you take your helmet off. And if you ever play football, you take your helmet off, your head's all sweaty and your hair's a mess. I do not. I saw that like 40 guys were ready to get their hair cut by this dude or something. That's one of the most mind-boggling things of the week. I thought. I was like, what are these guys thinking?
People weren't asking that question. They were only just talking about, that barber almost, I'm like, why are you all getting haircuts?
Yeah, I saw that too, and I was just, what? I had to read it like 3 times to make sure I got it right.
Yeah.
You gotta look good for the big game, guys. Come on now. When you're standing there on the sideline for the national anthem and all that, you want to look good. I'm just saying.
I guess when they pan over to 3 people out of all 100 and something players.
Yeah, exactly. You got Mahomes, Brady, Gronk, Kelsey, and a couple other guys. Those guys can get haircuts. The backup long snapper doesn't need a haircut.
Yeah, well, I was actually going to ask my serious question though. Was going to be that you mentioned the exposures with futures and with the spread and everything like that. Do you have any massive exposures in the prop market? Maybe a Super Bowl MVP, over and touchdown passes, stuff like that. Is there any outcome that you're particularly rooting for? I'm assuming you're rooting for basically 0 touchdowns by Mahomes and Brady combined.
Yeah, right. I mean, any overs on the player props, all the big players, over passing yards for Brady, over passing yards for Mahomes, anything like that. The safeties are always a big one.
For all the square stuff, basically.
Yeah, the big, the big payout stuff, safety for the safety to be scored the game, and safety as the first score of the game. Those are always big. I mean, there's just a ton of exposures, but those safety ones, will the game go to overtime? That's always a big one, and definitely once again.
Yeah, it makes sense.
The first score of the game has been a safety 3 different times. I saw that yesterday for some reason. That surprised me too. I didn't realize it had been.
What's even more surprising is that means absolutely nothing for this game.
Yeah, I know.
People will claim it does. People will claim it does when they end up taking the. I don't even know what the odds are for safety to be the first score. What is it, like 50 to 1, 100 to 1?
First score of the game, yeah, it's about 50 to 1 usually.
Yeah, something like that. So, yeah, I don't think that really matters, but people will convince themselves to take it. And I doubt, unless you get a Peyton Manning snap over his head situation, I don't think you have to worry about that.
Right. That was the only one that I remembered. I remember the Peyton Manning snap over his head. But and you know why that happened? Because the long snapper did not have a fresh haircut.
Yeah.
All for
main reason.
David, just kind of a more general question with the pandemic, the past year now. Has it affected you guys at all? I know you probably took a hit early and when they had everything canceled, but have you rallied enough to have a big year, or how does your totals stack up against like a normal quote unquote year?
Oh, it's great. We had our best season ever. I mean, the action's been awesome all year round. It's and we're trending towards our biggest Super Bowl of all time as well. We're trending about 10 to 15% above what we did last year for the Super Bowl, and that was our biggest Super Bowl ever. And yeah. I mean, once sports came back, and what was that, late July, early August? The bettors just came back in full force, and I was concerned. The economy wasn't doing that great, and there's people sitting on the sidelines, and we understand that if you're having a hard time making ends meet right now, last thing you want to be doing is betting, that's for sure. So, but no, there's a lot of people out there with money too. I'll tell you that much, and I think we see that in everyday life too. The people that do have money are spending it, and they're definitely spending at BetOnline.ag because it was a great season. The playoffs were awesome. Both of the conference championship playoff games, they were both of them were the biggest playoff games we've ever booked, and the Super Bowl is going to be the biggest game we ever booked. And heck, the biggest event we ever booked was in 2022, which was a 2020 election. We did more action. We did as much action on the 2020 election as we did the previous two Super Bowls combined. So people are betting.
That was a crazy night with the odds bouncing back and forth. At the end of the day, after the smoke had cleared, did you guys end up doing okay, or did you take?
We were big Biden fans that night.
Yeah, I'm assuming everybody was buying in on Trump, whether it was before the actual election started, live lines when everything plummeted. Yeah, I'm sure it worked out well.
Yeah, it was a profitable night.
Well, and it seemed to be, as you watch those numbers, it seemed like perhaps some people that were novices to how that market works were certainly betting more with their hearts than with their heads by the end of the night, and it just it kept those numbers at a pretty good price for if you were a Biden buyer.
Absolutely. And I've thought a lot about this. I'm not a big politics guy, but I love the betting aspect. I probably learned more from studying up on this stuff because of the betting markets than I did in any political science class I took in high school or college, because I just always hated politics. But the betting aspect of it is fascinating, I think. And I really get into it. And again, I'm not picking sides, but there is a lot of that. It's a lot of it, which I think is a big problem with politics. A lot of fandom. People are just picking their favorite side, and they love their side no matter what, whether it's Red Sox Yankees, or Trump versus Biden. They're loving their side no matter what, and they're hating the other side no matter what. So there's a lot of fandom to that. And when you get fandom in that, then you're not making the most rational betting decisions. It's probably a lot better to if you can just look at things objectively instead of saying, "Oh, my guy's the best and your guy sucks." Well, you're going to get in trouble doing that if you're betting on your favorite team. And you're always betting on your favorite team. And that's, you're not looking at the stats, you're not looking at the other team with an open mind or any of this other stuff or all these other factors, but you just think your team's the best and the other team's horrible. So I think there's a lot of that in the politics as well, I believe.
I think the Red Sox Yankees analogy is perfect because both sides annoy the hell out of me. So
yeah, well, that's why I picked it.
That's just absolutely perfect, my friend.
Just like politics, exactly.
I've got one more question. I'm going to turn it over to Scott. I know he's probably got a lot of stuff. I've got one more kind of goofy question. There's been a lot of talk last couple of weeks about Scottie Miller calling out Ty Hill on who is the fastest. Dave, if that race were to take place, I imagine it's not going to take place at halftime like Tyreek Hill wanted. But if that does take place in the future for a charity, that kind of thing, what's the number on Tyreek Hill?
Man, we talked about it, but we haven't really looked at it yet. Gun to head, he's opening up at the favorite. But man, we haven't really looked at that yet. So gun to head, I'd say about minus 180 or so. But we'd have to look into that a lot more. But we'll definitely have that number. We just haven't done it yet.
Yeah, okay. He asked me that yesterday. I guessed minus 160. That was my original guess.
And I thought it was closer to 140, 150. So
okay, we're in the right ballpark.
Yeah. You're over both of us. All right, very good. Scott, ask some of those killer questions I know you've been dying to ask because I've been dominating here.
Yeah, it's all good. Well, I was going to ask you, since we've already covered that pretty much you're rooting for the unders on almost every single prop, I was going to ask you just in general, where does the anthem prop rank in terms of action you usually get for Super Bowl? Is it one of the most bet props?
Oh, 100%. It's up there, man. It's without a doubt up there. That's getting so much action.
Has there been
Everybody.
any sharp action on any side on the anthem yet? Or they're not to the trial runs yet, so you don't know? So,
Nah, there hasn't. I mean, we went in blind. We just that's the thing. Every Super Bowl, whoever's singing the Super Bowl, there's usually some samples out there. The person did the NBA All-Star Game or MLB World Series or God knows what, and you can look at 2, 3, 4 examples and come up with a good starting point. But this one, there's nothing out there on Jasmine Sullivan, so we put 2 minutes flat, which is pretty much, kind of right in the middle of what the anthem usually is, maybe a little high, and we got to start taking some action under. I wouldn't say sharp at all, but more action on under, and so we adjusted to 157. So, but yeah, you said it. Once they had the rehearsals and everything, that's when some security guard with a stopwatch is relaying information to some guy paying him not enough money, and that's when the numbers start flying.
yeah, well, I know that's definitely the case for the anthem this year because I haven't really heard any leaks as to the
Right.
length. However, I'm sure there have been some leaks or potential leaks about the halftime show involving the weekend and maybe what song he's going to open with, maybe what he's going to be wearing. Has there been anything about that in the halftime show? I know it's more of a goofy question, but
No, those are good questions. They're always very topical this time of year. We took down first song. I'm not sure exactly what the intel was, but we took it down. So I'm sure our guys had some. I mean, something happened just last night. Miley Cyrus is doing something. I can't remember what the heck she's doing, but we took it. We had a prop out there. Will her belly button be showing? And all of a sudden, last night at like 1:30 a.m., we took like 20 bets on one of the sides. I don't even know which side, but whether or not her belt. I guess she tweeted out what her outfit was or something. Some information got leaked somewhere on what Miley Cyrus's outfit was going to be. We took like 20 bets on it, closed the odds. So there is always that stuff. I mean, last year that big story was the purple Gatorade, which was everybody's betting purple Gatorade. There was the rumor that the winner was going to dump purple Gatorade on the coach.
it was orange, right?
Well, that the rumor was purple, right? And
You know what I'm saying? But it ended up orange. Right?
Yeah, well, but what I got was if and I saw a freaking text from one of my guys who has a lot of inside information, and it was from one of the San Francisco offensive linemen that they're going to dump purple Gatorade on the coach to honor Kobe Bryant. So purple got bet, and it got bet to be the favorite, and it's always the long shot, and then it ended up being the favorite. But we'll never know. We'll never know. If the Niners won, I had money on it too. I bet it at 10-1 too. I was like, what the heck? It's worth a flyer. But
I'm ashamed to say I had a bet on purple Gatorade.
there you go.
So in other words, Scott, that you might have won your bet had your favorite team not come back and won the Super Bowl.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
That's something to keep in mind.
Small price to pay.
Yeah. Anyway, I think that's pretty much all that I have personally. I think we've kind of covered everything. Do you have anything you can think of?
I got one more. Dave, do you ever shake your head when you see money coming in on the coin toss at minus 115 on each side?
Well, we offer at minus 105 each side, so no.
Oh, nice.
That's funny though. I was just talking to somebody the other day about that. How I saw some book had it minus 115. I mean, they're going straight to hell. I think offering a coin toss at minus 115.
Top 10
side.
signs you're not going to be a successful sports bettor. You're
Right.
betting the coin toss at minus 115.
Exactly. So no, everybody bets the coin toss. It's one of those things. If you've ever been in the sports book in Vegas, the loudest cheer you'll hear
It's
all
nuts.
game is his head when that ref flips that coin and it hits the ground, man. That's the loudest cheer or boo you'll hear all game. It doesn't matter how good the game is.
I'll never forget the first time I watched the national anthem with a stopwatch and my wife, and I'm cussing as the anthem, and she's like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, "I just lost."
Hurry up!
Right?
I've been there.
Stretch that last note. Stretch
Yeah.
that last
You
note.
start hoping that they skip some words every now and then.
Yeah.
Verses.
Do you have a word skip prop this year?
Yeah, I think we have we'll just screw up the words. It's in there somewhere. I'm not sure exactly what the odds.
I almost think they pre-record most of those.
The no is 5,000. The yes is 12-1.
Oh, very nice.
So
Very nice. Well, Dave, we wish you nothing but the best for this week. We know it's a crazy time. As a Chiefs fan, I'm okay with 21-20 Chiefs to help you guys out. That'd be all right with me.
Beautiful.
So, yeah, it's. I hope everything goes exactly the way you want it.
Awesome. Thanks so much, guys.
Well, I was going to say before we let you go, I don't know if you want to
Sure.
talk about any promotions or anything BetOnline has going at the
Oh,
moment.
sure.
But
Yeah, BetOnline.ag if you want to bet on a big game or anything else. We got poker, we got casino, we have all the sports. Head on over to BetOnline.ag, sign up for an account. Plenty of ways to fund your account, including credit card and the always popular crypto. Speaking of crypto, we have the fastest payouts in the industry. We pay our winners via crypto in minutes, hours at most, instead of days and weeks like some books. Two a free Super Bowl contest for this Sunday. We had both are each worth $5,500 cash. So come on over to BetOnline.ag and check it all out.
Very good. And I will say, from a personal standpoint, it is my my go-to sports book for sports betting and for poker also. So great site, highly recommend it as well. Dave, once again, thanks very much. We appreciate it. Appreciate you making time. We know this is a hell of a busy week. So thanks for fitting us in, man. We look forward to seeing you when things calm down. Hope you guys do well. And, yeah, we'll see you next time. You guys take care. As for everybody else, we appreciate you watching today, tuning in for a special edition of Today in Sports Betting. For myself, for Scott Reichel, for Dave Mason of BetOnline. You guys have a great day. Take care. And hope every one of those bets pays off for you. All right? You guys take care. We'll see you next time on Today in Sports Betting.